last night I carried on the buzz from the London Film and Comic Con by going and seeing Ant-Man. I know it's been out for a few days now, but unfortunately the day it came out I had work. And the next day I was at London Film and Comic Con, and then I spent a couple of days with my parents. Got to spend days with your parents, and they brought me up. I've got to show them a bit of love now and again. So this was my first day I was available to go and see Marvel's Ant-Man. I have to admit, I have been looking forward to it. I see the trailers. I was quite excited to see Paul Rudd being cast as a superhero. I mean, I'm a big fan of some of his comic work that he's done. He's been a great comedian, been some really good rom-coms and other comedy elements. Not mentioning Friends, because I'm not a big fan of it. But Paul Rudd, in my opinion, is quite a decent comic actor. But I was quite surprised when he was cast for a big role, playing Scott Lang, Ant-Man. Well, he brings his comic role to it. He plays the Paul Rudd character. Very good humour. It was good to see him doing some of the stunts, actually. Just a few of the jumping over walls and that. I don't think he'd done much of the parkour. You couldn't see his face when doing that. And obviously when he was doing the fight scenes, he was in the Ant-Man suit. So I don't know how much of the action scenes were actually Paul Rudd. But I think he brought a lot of life to the character Scott Lang. And he made you like him. Even though he was a criminal, an ex-con trying to get straight, he actually made you like the character. This brings me into the next part of this movie. It's not really like any Marvel movie that they've done before. In the other movies, it's all about how they inspire to be a hero, and they've got a hero element about them, and they're fulfilling their duty to become a hero. We've got Scott Lang, who's an ex-con. This is the first type of person we've seen take up a hero role in the Marvel Universe. Before we had Tony Stark, eccentric billionaire. We had Captain America, who's the made to be the soldier. Obviously you had Black Widow's spy. But this is the first time he's an ex-con, normal person like me and you, gets to be a superhero. And he actually does it very well. The character's brought in very good. You see Hank Pym, who is the original Ant-Man in the comic books and the original Ant-Man in this movie. And he finds Scott Lang and sees a bit of himself in him and knows Scott Lang wants to make a difference for his daughter, so gives him the chance of becoming that Ant-Man. That's also what I liked. It wasn't straight into Ant-Man is the superhero. It's a heist movie. He becomes Ant-Man to steal something, to actually be the bad guy. But in being the bad guy, he's the good guy, because by stealing what he needs to steal, I'm not going to give it away, he's going to save the world. We see an appearance from Hydra coming back, which is very good. I'd like to see the Red Skull introduced back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That'd be really cool. And you also see Scott Lang as Ant-Man take on one of the Avengers, which is quite cool. It's not a big Avenger. It's not one of the big ones that you might expect, but he still takes on an Avenger. So it meshes the movies quite nicely together. Hank Pym drops a few things in why like that people have asked in other Marvel movies. Why don't people call the Avengers like they asked it in Iron Man 3? All this is going on. Why did Tony Stark just not get on the phone to the other Avengers and stop the Mandarin? Well, it says it in this, like when Scott Lang says, "Why are you getting me to do this? Why don't you just call the Avengers?" And there's a little snarky comment from Hank Pym saying they're probably too busy dropping a city on something. I thought that was quite cool, referencing to the Age of Ultron movie. I liked that. There's also, people might have missed it, there was a little mention of Spider-Man in the movie towards the end by Michael Pena's character. And that was great. And Michael Pena coming into this movie, or Pena, however he pronounced it, I'm a big fan of him. He's been in some great movies. He's got a very versatile role as an actor. And he actually brought some huge comic elements to this movie. His character was fantastic. I really enjoyed seeing him on the screen, and I hope that he's going to be used in more of the Marvel movies. For the bit after the credits, I'm not going to give too much away, but again, I don't know where Marvel will go with, so I was quite disappointed at the bit after the credits. Marvel fans stay to after the credits. If you're a true Marvel fan, you stay to after the credits. There's a lot of people getting up and I'm looking thinking, you're mad. You're mad. You're gonna miss bits leading on to the next movie. Well, it really wasn't. There was nothing there to lead on to anything else, or something perhaps to lead on to another character. But sitting there and it came on, and I was a little disappointed. But the film as a whole, I think it's got the same elements for Marvel movies that made the other Marvel movies great. It's good for kids, it's good for adults, it's got comedy in it, but this is something new. It's not just a hero, it's a heist movie. It's done very well, and the scenes where he's very small, it's fantastic. Some amazing CGI. I'm not a big fan of CGI, but it works for this movie. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. That's the highest of one of the Marvels. I think it's one of the best Marvel movies to date so far, and it's just different. It's definitely, if you're a Marvel fan, you need to go and see it. If you're not a Marvel fan, I still suggest you go and see it. It's a good movie, and it leads up to others, bringing more characters in. Thank you very much for watching today.